Hello, you're listening to Questboard, a podcast where we make up random side quests. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Tiffany. And just so you know, we are not professional writers in any way, shape, or form. At least we don't claim to be. We just really like tabletop RPGs, and we do this for fun.
That's right. How are you, Tiffany?
I'm doing good. Have you ever noticed, I know it's a random jump, when you're watching shows for a really long time, like they're kind of long-running shows, and you go back and you watch the first episode again, you realize, wow, the animation has really changed. Like if you go back and watch like the very first episode of, say, SpongeBob, and then you look at the more recent stuff, it's completely different style-wise.
I mean, isn't that how, like, technology for animation has adapted, and it's new technology, new processes, new styles
Yes, there's also
that gets
that.
implemented?
But it's also new people coming on board with different art styles and just updating the characters, and they're completely changing how people look, or characters.
Okay, are you talking about, like, because this reminds me of when they remake shows, like remember when they remade Looney Tunes and all that stuff, and that was a completely different art style than the original Looney Tunes? Are you talking about like that?
No, not a remake necessarily, because they're totally within the bounds of being okay to like just flat up change it, because they're completely redoing it.
Even though it wasn't as good as the original Looney Tunes?
Nothing's ever as good as the original Looney Tunes. But I'm talking about a long running show slowly morphing its art style throughout the seasons to a point where you almost don't notice until you're in the most recent episode and you just look back at the first episode and it's like a completely different show.
Why do I have a feeling this is leading you into talking about One Piece?
I was trying not to, but since you brought it up, no, it happened in One Piece as well. The art style completely changed. I did hear one time, though, some of the art style changes did stem from people challenging the original artist, saying, oh man, you're not good at drawing women, and so he drew them all with big boobs. And then the most recent season...
Because that man is a saint, and must be protected within this society.
And then in the most recent season, they were all complaining that, yeah, man, he can't draw butts. None of the women actually wear pants in the most recent season. Or if they do, they are skin tight and showing off all them assets.
It's a shonen, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and those are catered towards boys and all that stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Boys that have grown up since that started, so he's now catering towards the adults that are watching it still, because...
You know, that suddenly reminded me
It's
of...
long.
I know I've talked about this to you before, but I can't remember if you actually watched it. I grew up watching Samurai Jack. Great show. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was like back in 2018 or something like that, they released a final season.
I still haven't watched it, and I still want to. I just haven't had the time. Okay.
But basically, they made it so that, hey, the only people who care about this final season are the kids or the now adults that grew up watching it. So we're going to make it actually adult themed.
Right. I remember hearing that, which is kind of why I'm a little scared to watch it, because I don't want something from my childhood to become an adult show.
So do you want me to tell you how it's an adult so you could get a better feel if you actually want to watch it or not?
You know what? All right.
So as a kid's show, it was like, okay, he fights robots, all this and that. You notice how a lot of his enemies were robots.
Yeah.
And that's because they didn't want to show blood.
That's fair. That's understandable.
The adult version has him actually hurt or kill people, and there's blood.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's also like some darker themes that I interpreted.
It was already a pretty dark show.
Yes, but I think the biggest thing was he actually hurts people, and I think he even reacted to like, oh my god, it's actually like red with blood. He hurts someone.
Gotcha.
But I think that was the biggest thing about now being an adult show.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I could probably handle that.
So that was it for your rant about changing animation.
I was just like, have you ever noticed, like, long running shows, they tend to completely change the way they look.
Just so you could talk about One Piece?
That was not the intention.
I feel like that was your intention.
That was not the action. You're the one who brought it up. I was leaving it off the table, but it did happen in One Piece as well.
Well, it happens with all the big animes that last so long.
Right. And it's like, there have been a couple of times where they've gone back and reanimated certain arcs of the show into either movies or just completely redone an arc of the show and like upgraded the animation on it, which I thought was really neat because the more recent stuff has beautiful animation. I know none of you can see me right now, but I'm doing Italian hand. Like both hands now. Like just it was just beautiful animation.
Don't worry, she's white. She could do it.
I'm Italian, dingus.
That's white. That's Caucasian.
That's true. Yeah, I'm European, actually. I'm a mutt, but there is Italian in there.
Okay. I guess that's it for our beginning banter.
And banter done. Today.
Down in the comments, put down any shows that, changes on. For the better or for worse.
Or just let us know what your favorite shows were growing up. That's actually fun to hear.
No, because if it's going to be a bunch of shows that I'd never heard of because I'm older than them, I'm going to feel old.
Okay, if you're also a 90s kid, let us know what your favorite shows were growing up.
Now you're just excluding a portion of possibly our audience.
If you're younger than a 90s kid, let us know if you've seen any shows that have changed animation over time.
But they're not yet old enough to see the changes.
Oh my goodness. Just let me know what your favorite shows are. You don't have to talk to Brandon.
Fine, yeah.
So today,
put in parentheses for Tiffy's eyes only.
You done?
No, never done.
So today, we're going to be doing Character Jam, as you can probably tell by the title of this episode, even though we've been yabbering on about whatever we want to for a while now.
We do that every episode.
I know. Sometimes it gets long, though.
Oh, I know.
And we're not going to do the usual Character Jam where I bring up the Fatum cards, even though they are beautiful and gorgeous. I just don't want to overuse them. So I went back to the charts that I made from just the Player's Handbook.
We did an episode.
We've done, yes, before. Like I said, I went back to those charts and had Brandon roll on them beforehand so we don't bore you all with a ton of rolling. So here is the result. We have.
Actually going to put something on the screen?
I could. I might.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
If you want to grab images from the Player's Handbook, just.
Oh, I probably will. We have a dwarf, a hill dwarf specifically, who is a sorcerer of the draconic bloodline. Their background is folk hero.
A dwarf. Okay. I mean, to be fair, a dwarf ancestor could get on with a dragon. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know exactly what draconic bloodline means.
It usually means that you have an ancestor who slept with a dragon.
I see that. It says your innate magic comes from draconic magic that was mingled with your blood or that of your ancestors. So, someone in this dwarf's bloodline decided to woo a dragon.
They paid for a night.
They were probably a bard. It's like, I roll to seduce the dragon.
You know the joke, right? So did you slay the dragon? I laid the dragon.
Yeah.
Slay the dragon. Lay the dragon.
In this case, they laid the dragon.
Sorry, I'm dyslexic. So we did roll that, but there are I pulled up the folk hero thing.
Gotcha.
We're going to still roll for these in the moment.
And we will also still need to roll for what type of dragon this person's ancestry is.
Oh, do you want to do that real quick then?
Sure. Roll me a D10.
D10?
Mm-hmm.
I got 5.
5. Copper. We got acid powers.
Is it just gain acid or is it resistant to acid?
The damage type associated with each dragon is used by features you gain later.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So at level, not 1, I don't know what level. Yeah, at first level, parts of your skin are covered by a thin sheen of dragon-like scales. So in this case, they'd be copper scales. That type of thing. And then at 6th level, when you cast a spell that deals damage of the type associated with your draconic ancestry, you can add your charisma modifier to 1 damage roll of that spell.
Then acid is not a good roll.
And you can spend a sorcery point to gain resistance to that damage type for 1 hour. Stuff like that. It's actually really cool. I should totally play this. I've never played a sorcerer before, so I would.
Sorcerers are fun.
Yeah, I don't normally play magic casters, and if I do, it's a full-on half caster because I am not dealing with them full casters. But maybe someday. This is interesting.
Okay. So,
Background
has
stuff.
bronze dragon ancestry.
Copper.
Copper, sorry.
Similar color and could easily be mistaken for the other.
It's a metallic dragon, okay.
Yes. Metallic brownish color.
So, for folk hero, I still don't know exactly what kind of character we're going to make. Because we're determining backstory, personality, goals, and what they would want to join the campaign for. Because they have to go adventuring.
Right.
So we have to figure all that stuff out.
Yes.
For this character. Features: defining event. You previously pursued a simple profession among the peasantry, perhaps as a farmer, miner, servant, shepherd, woodcutter, or gravedigger. But something happened that set you on a different path and marked you for greater things. And then there's a D10. I guess I'm rolling a D10. A 4. I stole from a corrupt merchant to help the poor.
Okay. So
We
he has
are
good
Robin
intentions,
Hoods.
but bad choices.
Since you are from the ranks of the common folk, you're fit among them with ease. You find a place to hide, rest, or recuperate amongst commoners, unless you've shown yourself to be a danger to them. I feel like more DMs should incorporate that.
Right?
Not a lot of people incorporate that. Because I think that's a really nice utility ability to have. Of like, oh my god, you're this person. Oh yeah, you could I have a spare room or something you guys could sleep in and all that stuff free of charge.
I know there's a lot of things that DMs can like take advantage of from characters' backgrounds that often get overlooked.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me of a book I'm reading right now where the main character is just like it's an isekai. It's totally an isekai. He's been taken to another world and he's getting completely overwhelmed in all of this chaos that's going on. And he has an issue with authority figures, so he never shows them any respect or anything. The moment they enter a town with common people, that completely flips. He shows complete respect for like the waiter at the table or the tavern keep. And he always learns their name. He always remembers their name and learns about their lives. And these other people he's traveling with who really never bother to learn about the common folk are just like, wait, how'd you get it? How'd you get this information? And he's like, oh, Jeff told me. He was like, why did Jeff tell you that? It's like, because we were chatting. Like he'll just, know all these things and just know all the people in town. It's actually exactly how I would see this working.
I mean, to be fair, down with the anarchy, right?
Exactly. Is what he was thinking.
The corrupt higher up people.
For those of you who may be wondering, the name of the series of books is called He Who Fights with Monsters. Definitely recommend it.
That could have been our beginning banter.
I didn't think about it then.
Okay.
I was too busy thinking about animation changing on me because I'm getting old.
Aren't we all?
Anyway, suggested characteristics. Roll for that personality trait.
D8. There it is. Okay. I got a 6.
So
thinking is for other people. I prefer action.
Okay.
Oh, so basically, hey, these people, these starving people are they are getting the welfare of this world. But he's like, no, that takes too long. They're starving, this, and that. I have to take it now.
Money. These people don't have money. Let's take that money and give it to those people. Problem solved. Yeah.
It's the Robin Hood approach. It's going to go back to them, and then it's going to go back to these people. Just, I'll make it go faster. They need it right now. Okay. Very much impromptu kind of person.
All right. Ideals.
Maybe it's a part of the dragon qualities where actually wouldn't dragons be more patient?
I don't know. Maybe we should look up what a copper dragon thinks about things.
I don't know. I think that's just a general question of you and I would determine. Because I could picture them being impatient and patient though.
Yeah.
Because impatient because of their quick temper, but then patient because they live so long.
Yes. But you can also think about yes, they're relatively intelligent, but they also are monsters, creatures. They might have a more animalistic approach to a thing. You have what I want, so I'm taking it.
But most dragons are high intelligence, unless you're a white dragon. We learned that from Monster Spotlight.
I seem to recall Now I really want to look up copper dragons and how intelligent they are.
Okay, you could do that while I look up his ideals.
Okay.
Or roll for his ideals.
That too.
6, destiny. Nothing and no one could steer me away from my higher calling, which is to be a symbol for the people. To bring... He or she believes that helping other people out, helping the common folk is their destiny. Well...
Sorry, I was looking up dragons. What?
I rolled destiny for ideals. Nothing and no
Nothing.
one can steer me away from my higher calling.
Okay, so he believes in destiny. I'm saying he because that's just me.
And okay, that could tie into the I prefer action because
Yeah.
I am destined for this. That means that I need to just do this because I'm destined to do it.
Right.
That could lead into the whole not thinking about it and being impatient.
Yeah, it's my destiny, therefore I do.
Bonds?
Bond. James Bond.
1, I have a family, but I have no idea where they are. One day I hope to see them again.
Ah, the old I gotta find my family background trope thing.
Oh, what happens if his family was also like super poor, common folk and all that stuff? So when he sees these people in need, it reminds him of his family, his or her family. We haven't decided gender.
Their family.
And in which then they help these people because it reminds them of their family.
Okay. Maybe because their family was so poor, our main character here is essentially either got sold off into like servitude, slavery, or some sort of like that, just because the family had no means to protect them from that. And they ended up maybe in the service of a sorcerer. No, they don't. They ended up in the service of someone who does magic of some sort, which is how they learned how to use their innate magic.
What if it's an orphan? Because I didn't want like selling off is kind of heartless and could lead. I could
That's
see
understandable.
being a resentment instead.
That's true. Yeah, there's.
But what
usually some
happens if
resentment
it's
with that.
like too poor to feed? So then they drop the main character off at orphanage.
Okay.
Like old enough to recognize remember what they look like, but young enough that's like
Right.
still sad. And it could be a thing where sorcerer powers are at least for draconic ancestry that doesn't trigger until age like 15 or something, or when they hit puberty.
Yeah. Which actually with dwarves.
That's when the scales start growing in.
Yeah. When do dwarves hit puberty? That's
Oh
fun.
god, I don't want you to think about that.
Well, the website I'm looking at doesn't tell me. So.
Whatever it is, this is just background convenience anyways.
Right. Oh, here we go.
What is
Sorry, I found it. Dwarves mature at the same rate as humans.
Really?
So,
Even though they live way longer?
but they're considered young until they reach the age of 50.
Okay.
On average, they live about 350 years.
So they get the long life and they get to mature just as fast. So they're the best race to like be luckily born as.
Probably.
Because if you're an elf, you're gonna be a small kid for like 100.
Yeah, but then you have to live with the short jokes for your entire life.
But then you just punch them in the gut and then they'll shut up.
That's fair. Yeah, they are pretty stout.
So this character is already like these roles are really lining with each other. So this one's so far pretty easy.
Oh, that's nice. Their speed is naturally not reduced by wearing heavy armor. They're literally made to wear heavy armor.
But their speed is 30. No, not 30, 25.
Actually, yeah.
The standard is 30. So
Yes.
they lose speed, and that's the compensation is wearing heavy armor. It doesn't reduce even more. Anyways, I need to roll their flaw.
Oh, yes. Flaws. Everyone's got them.
1. A tyrant who rules my land will stop at nothing to see me killed because they stole from them.
Because they keep stealing. That's actually really lining up. So we have Dragon Robin Hood.
Yeah, draconic ancestry Robin Hood. Okay, can we try to think of something else? Because I think that's too easy.
You don't want Dragon Robin Hood?
I think that this is a good, like, the dragon ancestry Robin Hood is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Can we think of something else, or else that's just nicely wrapped up and then we could just end the episode now?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it could be if we do the Robin Hood approach, then this character is on the run, bumps into the parties up with them, is like, hey, let's just keep moving and all that stuff. I want to like visit and I just can't go back in that region right now. And that's it.
Well, maybe he doesn't do it more than once. Maybe he only did it once, and he stole from the most wrong person. Maybe the corrupt merchant he stole from is the tyrant who rules that land. So he only stole once. It's not a common, like, a thing he keeps doing.
No,
so he's not
but
Robin Hood. He just did it once.
But it's still the same approach because they, I believe, the defining event was
I stole from a corrupt merchant to help the poor.
yes. That screams just if they did that once, but the reason of going out adventuring is because the tyrant wants them killed for that, even though it was once. So it's still I need to go adventuring. I just can't go back into that region, or else they're gonna try to kill me.
Pretty much.
So I feel like that's all very well wrapped up.
Maybe it's not the same person. Yes, they stole from a corrupt merchant to help the poor. The tyrant who rules the land might be someone else who this character wooed the daughter of, and, like, I don't know, the daughter's just enamored with this no family, not rich person.
It's really hard for you to sell this.
No, I'm just trying not to make it Romeo and Juliet. But so the tyrant who rules the land just does not want their daughter associating with this rubble, and so just wants to get them killed. I don't know. I was trying.
Okay, how about this? Slightly different. To still incorporate all of the things we rolled.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if the tyrant is like wanted the main character for their power of draconic bloodline because they showed signs and all that stuff, because that is a power of a dragon, you know?
True. It's nice
and
to
so
have that
they
in your
wanted this person to like be an underling, be a henchman, whatever you want to call it. But then the goal of the main character is to leave and try to find their family. That's like the ultimate goal.
Right.
Maybe it's like destiny or something like, or the destiny could be like meeting with the party. Anyways, so they want to eventually meet their family and all that stuff, you know, and so like if the tyrant or his henchmen are in the town and trying to like abduct or try to convince the main character to meet with the tyrant, the main character blatantly steals from the merchant and then throws the money up, and then it's the whole like hectic scattering of like people trying to grab coins.
Yeah.
That they make that was able to make their escape and then get out of town.
Okay.
And then while on the run into the party kind of situation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, hey, I'm stealing and giving to the people because
it was a distraction.
It was used as a distraction, but it's technically that
that
description.
There's only one small hang up on that.
Okay.
You said the tyrant wanted to get a hold of our main character because they wanted that power. Mm-hmm. This says, we'll stop at nothing to see me killed.
They're very upset that maybe they have publicly like said no, like ruin their image.
Well, I have a small counterspin to that, but it involves racism. Maybe the tyrant sees this bloodline as being cursed. Having the blood of an accursed dragon running through their veins can't be good. And they don't want this person in their town corrupting anyone. They think it's like a corruption thing, but really it's just, I don't know, it's in my blood. So they're trying to run them out of town or kill them. Mostly kill them, actually, just to stop them spreading.
And still using the whole corrupted merchant and
right. And then they use that as a distraction.
Okay, we'll combine the two.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the major event moment, and they believe that when they join up with the party or like bump into the party circumstances, because it's always circumstances when you run into your campaign party, that it was destiny.
And it's always destiny.
Yes, because that's the one railroading thing you have to agree to.
Mm-hmm. How funny would it be if a character had a horse named Destiny and they were like, Destiny carries me along my journey?
I believe I thought of making that as a joke character.
Yeah.
It was going to be just a rich, noble background kind of thing, and they bought a horse. and it's just like, I shall ride destiny. Come, destiny. And then the course comes up and then gets on top of it.
That's a fun thought.
What happens if, because of the whole like major spread of money, like did not thought of helping the poor in that, it was just distraction?
It was distraction because they knew all the poor people would scramble for that chance.
But what happens if that is what caused the folk hero status that they did not want?
Yeah.
And so the rustic hospitality thing is like, oh my God, you're the person who like... Yeah. And then they tell the stories of like that event, but it keeps getting exaggerated.
Yeah.
And it's like, you fought off 12 men and stabbed the corrupted merchant.
Do we want to think up like a folk hero name? Almost
sure.
like a superhero name, I guess. But like...
Okay, have you never played the game Fable?
I actually have.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Great game. I love that game.
It was a really good game.
It just reminds me of you could buy nicknames in that game.
Oh, I didn't know
that. I didn't
play much.
Your beginning nickname is Chicken Chaser.
I remember that.
You could buy like different titles and they would call you that.
Yeah.
I think one of them was like Master Chief because Xbox.
Of course.
But it just made me think of that. Like, oh, what's the title going to be? I
was thinking something to do with copper because they show copper scales, like possibly like maybe almost as like their sideburns. They might have some on the like corner of their chin, just showing a little bit. Like the copper clad dwarf. Yeah, I got nothing. I'm not good at this.
You know, I think that's way too hard for us to come up with on the spot because I'm very bad at coming up with names in general.
Those of you listening, the title of this episode might just be the name of our hero. It's possible.
The Copper Crusader.
Oh, there you go. You did it.
Because I just thought of the Cape Crusader.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. Copper Crusader.
I am the dragon. God. Or what happens if like instead of the ears you just have like two wings sprouting on the side, like dragon wings?
Just little tiny dragon wings that flap every now and then when you get excited.
Like a pseudo dragon?
Yeah. Actually, one of the abilities of the...
You gain wings. Yeah, that's high level though.
14. Not bad.
That's high level. Especially if you start at level 1.
Yeah. I mean, at 18th level, you get Draconic Dread.
I can't believe we just made Dragon Batman.
Batman, but dragon.
Okay.
Yep.
You know what? That's funnier than Robin Hood because Robin Hood's too used. Actually, I just complained about, what happens if we can't use Robin Hood because that's a known thing. It's a cliche.
Mm-hmm.
To then make Batman.
Well, I mean, he's being run out of town. That's not necessarily Batman.
No, but we kind of made the whole folk hero thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had to circle back around to folk hero at some point.
We jokingly just like random comic folk are going to treat him like Batman.
Right. And just calling him the Copper Crusader doesn't necessarily invoke Batman.
True. Fine. I think we were just joking about the look.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes me feel better. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I guess that's pretty much it for this character. Can you think of anything else to add? I mean, to be fair, like in the campaign for this backstory, it could be had to go back into the region and then they have to face the tyrant that wants, the main character killed.
Right.
That could easily be done.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be not too much of a divergent or a long personal story arc for a character.
Because, the fact that this character literally can't go back into that region unless they, face getting killed, that could block off a huge chunk of land for, going on quests and stuff.
Yeah. Or a way to just fluff out some side quests.
Yeah.
By forcing them to go into that region and then face the tyrant. Yeah,
and
that's
maybe
all self-explanatory.
At some point you can be like, my family.
Also that.
Yeah. Maybe they're in trouble.
I feel like that's like at the end of the campaign kind of thing.
Well, maybe the tyrant has them.
I don't know about that one. Because how would they hide the fact and how would they is it the tyrant? Did the parents also have the whole sign of ancestry thing?
It's in their blood, at least one of them.
But it could easily be argued that's could have been grandparents skipped a generation kind of thing. It's passive. It depends on the body being able to awaken to its bloodline.
Yeah,
you could argue that it skips 2 or 3 generations.
Well, the other thing is you let's see, at first level is when you show dragon scales and stuff.
That's why I argue that, it's when you hit puberty.
Right. But even so, it's like level 1, you're showing off the fact that you've got dragon blood. Whether or not you choose to become an adventurer and, gain skills and things.
Yes, but I'm just saying, if the parents, either one of the parents, show it, then wouldn't the tyrant then just kill them and not have them captured? But if they didn't show it, that means then why would the tyrant have them captured?
Okay, the tyrant is rounding up all of them and putting in to essentially like concentration camps or something. Yeah, I know, it's awful. I hate that whole concept, but they do it and it's stupid. And the only reason the tyrant wants to outright kill our main character was that whole kerfuffle of getting away.
But we already determined that the kerfuffle getting away was because the tyrant wanted the main character killed.
No, he just wanted to round him up and throw him in a camp. Get him away from the general populace. I'm retconning.
You're retconning because I'm like, I had that set like in my head.
I know. I'm retconning here.
Wasn't the argument that it's a corruption or anything like that? I mean, I feel like if the tyrant was its own thing, then the parents could be used as a plot hook for something else.
Okay, that's true. That's fair.
That is very much up to the DM.
Mm-hmm.
This banter really does not matter because it is the DM's world. It's whatever they decide.
Maybe at some point the character can run into another sorcerer with copper dragon blood that ends up not being from the same, not even the same dragon, like just different bloodline entirely. But for a split second, it could be like, are we family?
I just had the thought of like, are you my mommy?
Are you my mommy? Because
God,
I've
that was a
had that
creepy
happen where I actually met someone with the same last name as me who looked a lot like me. And I'm like, are we related? Is there any possibility that we're actually related? No, we're not.
Oh, I feel like it depends on what your last name is. We're not gonna say our last names.
Yeah, true.
But mine is a lot less common in this country. So if I see someone,
that's fair.
You should think that if it's more common, like Smith or something, and you meet another Smith,
yes,
you're not gonna think, "Are we family?" You're gonna think, "Oh."
And along those same lines, my maiden name is extremely common.
So that's my only argument about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we should just wrap this up.
Yeah.
Enough retconning or deciding what the DM does, because that's all
right. That's all
their decision on how their world works.
So we have a dwarven sorcerer with a draconic background who is a folk hero only in that they threw a ton of money into the crowd as they were trying to escape the tyrant running their land from capturing them and throwing them into a camp with a bunch of other people with draconic histories.
Or just killing them.
Or just outright killing them, honestly. It's up to our DM whatever goes on there. So it's kind of short and sweet, but it's a good basis.
It's not a good person. It's just a very neutral kind of character.
Right. Also, another fun thing. Dwarves, male and female, can grow glorious beards, which could easily cover up any scales on their face.
Well, it depends on where you put the scales.
That's true. They have like scales under their beards or something because you can grow through the scales.
Well, it's also an argument in whatever world you want to be in where scales can't grow facial hair.
There's also that, and I was just thinking, what if this is a dwarf that cannot grow a beard because of scales?
Or it's just one patch, so then they just have it all shaved because that would look dumb.
Or just like one little bit right in the middle where they have one long braid coming out.
Yeah, because they can't have a full beard. Anyways, that is up to whoever takes this character.
That would be a really fun aesthetic.
If you use this character in your next campaign, let us know how that went. Give us a week by week update.
Yeah.
The fun adventures of blank.
Insert name here. You
could come up with your own name. Sorry. But yeah, let us know down in the comments of this YouTube video, or you can let us know on X at QuestBoardPod or on Blue Sky at QuestBoard. If you have something for our regular episodes, let us know on any of those sites. I think with that, I wish you all a good night.
And happy questing.